Keep it going for Marty. Wow, what a room. I usually perform in bars that have, what's that thing called that blows through a town? Tumbleweed? Usually got tumbleweed blowing through. This is a packed room. Where do they get tumbleweeds from? You ever thought about that? Like, they always have those in the cartoons. Is there a store? Is there a tumbleweed store that you're going to? Do you buy them in bulk? Do they go bad? I don't know. I have ADD. My parents got me vaccinated, so now I'm probably artistic. I'm acoustic, you know? Mentally retarded. Walking the line like Johnny Cash. Sorry. My bad. Wow. Let's see. Things that I've been thinking about. Baptism by fire. I'm a Jewish guy. We got any Jews here tonight? Hell yeah. Let's go. Represent. That's what's up. Being Jewish is interesting. I don't know, it's kind of tough. Like, we're always kind of nervous about stuff. We're always apologizing for everything. My best friend, he's Catholic, so we've got the guilt and shame covered. We're going to start an offer called Guilt and Shame Incorporated. The first client will be the Catholic Church. We got a lot of Jewish stuff. There's a job in the Jewish religion just to circumcise babies. That's so difficult. Like, can you imagine? He walks home, long day for his wife. She's a real ball breaker. She asks him right when he gets home. Turn it up. Can you turn me up? Marty, they said they can't hear me. Okay. Hell yeah. Sorry. Alright, anyway. So you know there's a job in the Jewish religion called being a moil, and all you do is circumcise babies. Yeah. Like, that's like the worst type of hibachi chef. That sucks. And so imagine you get home from a long day of work. Your wife is giving you crap. She's like, how much money did you make today? You're like, just the tips. So there's a Jew on a desert island, a Robinson Crusoe, you could say. He's rescued by some nice people, and they got him on their boat. They're taking him off the island, and they noticed that he built 3 buildings. And they're like, "Why did they build 3 buildings? You know, like, what was the point of that?" He goes, "Well, 1 building, that's my house. The other 2 buildings are synagogues." We're like, "Why'd you build 2 synagogues? 1 guy." He goes, "Well, 1, that's the one I go to temple for, go there on the holidays. The other one, I wouldn't be caught dead on that." We love to complain. We love to complain, we love to argue. 2 Jews, 4 opinions. You guys know why there isn't a Jewish pope? It's because we can never agree on one, you know? It's tough. It's really hard. I learned in Sunday school that supposedly the Jews built the pyramids. We were enslaved by the pharaohs. And I'm like, the Jews I know, it takes 3 of them to screw in a light bulb. You know? So I was like arguing with my rabbi on that one. And we went back and forth, and I was like, look, you're in Egypt. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but there's a better group you could use for labor than a bunch of Nebuchadnezzar Jews, right? Like, in Africa, better labor source available than a bunch of Jews being like, I got a splinter in my finger. You know? Look, if somebody had an injury on the site of the pyramid, right? If a thing of bricks fell on somebody and you needed a lawsuit done, the Jews would be great to enslave for that. But other than that, like, we would make the worst slaves. I don't get that. Like, joke's on the Pharaoh, ultimately. Like, I just do not believe we built one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. I'm not buying it. Anyway, I think a lot about Jesus for a Jewish guy. I think a lot about Jews who might have been in therapy. Would have been interesting if Jesus was in therapy. You know, he's talking to his therapist. She might have been like a really old Jew, like my therapist is. I have a therapist who, she's kind of like Yoda. She says stuff I don't get immediately, but is always right eventually. It's really frustrating. And so Jesus is talking to his therapist, and he's like, I'm not doing great recently. Like, I'm still on the run from the Romans. And she's like, that's terrible, Jesus. That's awful. How does that make you feel? They're always asking you how stuff makes you feel. You just chat GPT that, obviously. And he's like, I'm not good, I'm terrified. I was looking around at dinner and I was like, I think one of these disciples might betray me. And she's like, it must be awful to be that paranoid. Should be up in Prozac? And he's like, yeah, I guess, it can't hurt. And she's like, how about some Klonopin, PRN? And he's like, no, if I need, if I get really stressed out, I can just turn water on. Speaking of Jesus, Marty looks a little bit like Jesus after they took him off the cross.
Hey guys, can we just get everybody just to quiet down a little bit? If everybody would just do that, thanks. I appreciate it. We're paying for this, everybody. Just so you know, Lodge's paying to have these entertainers here for your entertainment. So it'd be nice for us to have a little respect and just quiet it down for the entertainers. Be nice. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Continue.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Cool. So, let's talk about something Jewish. Let's see. You're good. It wasn't important. So I think a lot about, just different Jews in history. I think a lot about if Jews were superheroes too. Like, what would my superpower be? Like just getting to call anything I don't like anti-Semitic. I don't actually beat up the villain. I just sue him after he beats me up. I'll see you in court. Jewish superhero. Superman. He pulls out playing like Dreidel or something. Oh shit. The other one I've been thinking about is firefighters. If you had a brigade of Jewish firefighters, they pull up to the scene, blue fire truck. They're playing Hava Nagila instead of like a normal siren. They're starting to put the fire out, right? And the chief gets out and he's like, Mortimer, what the hell are you doing with that water hose? He's like, I'm putting the fire out, chief. He's like, but with water? Do you have any idea how expensive that is? Oh, shit. So there were some Jews eating over there earlier, and someone asked them how the food was, and they were like, the food was too small, and the food was terrible, and the portions were too small. And I'm like, who would want a lot of terrible food? There was a waiter going up to a Jewish family recently. It was actually my family. And they were like, is anything all right? All right, I've been Jacob Englander. Thank you very much, folks.
Jacob!